By the end of this 20-30 minute lesson today, you're going to be able to do this right here. Have you ever wanted to just sit down at the piano and be able to play something like this? Do you want lessons at home on flute, oboe, clarinet, or any brass instrument, or snare drum, or piano? Well, stay tuned because you're going to see a free piano lesson today that shows you how to play jazz blues and jazz boogie woogie. You know, something that's pretty jazzy like that. Or have you ever heard someone play boogie woogie and you're like, wow, I'd like to do that. Well, by the end of this 20-30 minute lesson today, you're going to be able to do this. Yeah, and if you want to take it a step further, you can always add a little slide in here like this. So there's a slide to add. We could add a dominant seventh to it. So here's a C chord, and when we add a dominant seventh, it's right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Listen to the difference in flavor. Here's just a C chord. Here's a dominant seventh C chord. Now we'll do the same thing on F. Okay, man, this stuff is so fun, and it all boils down to, it all starts with the very form that you see on the screen, and that is this 12-bar blues and boogie form. There's 4 measures, there's another 4 measures, and there's the last 4 measures. 12 measures total, and I like to look at it in sections of 4. There's 4 measures, there's 4 measures, and there's 4 measures, and we'll go line by line. We'll do the first 4 measures. So, looking at the screen, these first 4 measures are all the same chord. So here's what I want you to do. Put your pinky on a C, your middle finger on an E, and your thumb on a G. If you don't know what the names of those notes are, just look at my piano. There is middle C. It's a white note right in the middle. Go to 3 black, 2 black, 3 black, 2 black, and there it is. And there is your low C. If your piano doesn't have as many keys as mine, then just find a low C right there. And put your pinky there, your middle finger on that key, and your thumb on that key. And just get good at walking a bass. It's called a walking bass. Just walk that up and down. That is the whole bass line to the whole song, even when it changes to an F chord, back to C. In fact, let's do this. Watch the form. I'm gonna go through this whole form with just my left hand, and this will make a lot of sense to you. You've heard this before. Watch this. So 1, 2, 3, C, C again, C again, C again. Now F, F, back to C, C. Now to G. Back to C. And that is the entire 12-bar blues or boogie or lots of rock and roll. You know, you think back to 1950s and 60s. 1950s rock and roll was that same style, was that same form. Now there's a little change here and there, but once you get this form down, you're going to be able to do it. So now the exact same pattern that goes like this, that same pattern works over every single chord, whether it's an F chord or a G chord. So let's learn to do it just on C, and then I'll show you how to transition between the chords. So on a C chord, you've already done this, right? You've already got that walking bass down. Now let's figure out your right hand. So in the same way, go to middle C, put your thumb on C, middle finger on E, and your pinky on G. And something that's going to be great to do is to push your left and right hands down at the same time, and just push them all down at the same time. And remember, you want to have like a bubble inside your hands so that your fingers are curled, so that your fingers are all the same length. So like you see this picture of a pencil on the screen, you want to see that the fingers be the same length. So pushing some weight down into the piano, especially if you're playing on a real piano, because those keys have weight to them. Push all 6 fingers down at the same time, just like this, okay? Now, with your right hand, I want you to do this. Say jazz. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now you notice that very last yeah, I changed chords to an F, and that's important here in a little bit for when we learn how to transition from the end of this last C chord going into this F chord. That's going to be important there. But for right now, let's just go back to the first 4 measures. Here we go. All right, so we've got the jazz. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you will notice I like to articulate what we're playing because it's easy to do that. Once we can make the connection between your mouth and what you're playing, it's great. So, jazz. Oh, yeah. You'll notice you never say jazz except once. The very first chord is jazz. But then every other time you hit your right hand down, every time you hit that right hand down, the rest of the song, it's always, oh, yeah. It's always on an upbeat or an afterbeat. Or if you're tapping your foot, it's always when your foot is up. So the only time you play a chord when your foot is down is the very first note of the song. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. So let's learn how to do that. Let's look at the order of how your fingers work. Watch this, watch really closely. You push these down together, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, then this one. Let's look at that again. You start the song by hitting them together. Then you walk up like this. Hit that one, then this one, then this one, then this one. Now let's listen to it in context. Now I'm going to play these notes really short so you can see the blue on the screen. Watch the blue keys light up so you'll kind of get the order of notes and how they work with each other. So in between here and here is when you play your right hand. That would be a good exercise to do. Just go. Now, when you do the last one, you hold the keys down. Check this out. Sorry. You hold that one out. Now, just watch this video. You can pause it. You can go back and watch the order of how it works. Now it's just up to you to put the work together to be able to do this. 1, 2, 3. Oops. I made a mistake there. So now we got to go from the C chord here to the F chord here. And the thing about it is you hit this F chord. Watch my hand here. This is a C. If you just go C, D, E, F, move it up to F, and there's an F chord. You hit that F chord right before the 5th measure. It happens on that last yeah. Listen to this really quick. Watch my right hand. My left hand is just going to keep walking. You can ignore that. It does the same thing over and over. But watch my right hand, especially for when I say yeah. Okay, give me 4 measures here. Just ready? And jazz. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That last yeah happened right at the end of these first 4 measures, and you have to hit the F chord there before you actually get to the F measure. But if you don't read music, if this doesn't look like anything you've ever recognized on the screen before, then just get the feel of it down. In fact, watch this. It's time now to learn not only the F chord but also the F chord and the G chord, and then we're going to go through this whole form. Check it out. This is a C chord. Every time you see C on the screen, like there, 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 and there, there, and there. This is an F chord with F, A, C. Those two measures right there, that's when you play F. And then G, that's when you play the G chord, G, B, D. So the shape of your hand is going to look like 1, 2, 3. You know, your thumb, we call our thumb 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you'll use the 1, 3, and the 5 to play the 1, 3, and the 5 of each chord. The 1, the 3, and the 5 of each chord. The 1, the 3, and the 5 of each chord. So you can just freeze your hand into that position when you play C or F or G. Now, track along with me. I'm going to do this twice. You're going to be able to freeze this video, pause it, and even go slow if you want. You can slow the speed down to see when the fingers are happening with each other. Okay, I'm going to go through the whole form. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. Okay, so that was 12 measures plus 1. I just kind of ended on a long note there. That is the 12-bar blues. That's the basis of all blues and boogie-woogie and 60s rock and roll, is that 12-bar blues. Now, what if you want to make it tastier? So instead of hitting those 3 notes, what if you want to add a B flat? So now what I want you to do is take your thumb, index finger, third finger, so 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and then your 4th finger or your pinky on that B flat. Play the same rhythm, the same pattern. Okay, that's for the C chord. When you play F, watch my hands just kind of move up. I'm on the F, and here is the 7th. For the G chord, the 7th is not black. In this case, it's white. So watch the G chord. There's our G. There's the 1, 3, and the 5. We're going to add this note right there. It's an F. And I am going to use my pinky for that. Again, down here, we're just walking the bass. So now I'm going to play that whole form again. I'll play it the same speed, but I'll play it with adding those dominant 7ths. Dominant 7ths make you want to go somewhere else. That's why jazz provides a little or a lot of dissonance. Dissonance means the wavelengths of the notes are not congruent. They're not flowing together. For example, these 2 notes, they're very congruent. They sound good. They're flowing together. These 2 are flowing together. These 2 are flowing together. They're consonant. But what about this one right here? This one is dissonant. Now that by itself kind of doesn't sound so good. But when you add these inner tones, the chord tones, so there is a pretty chord, a C chord, and we add this dissonant B flat. It's driving you to go to a different chord, and that next chord is F. Every time you add a 7th, it's driving you to go somewhere else. It's kind of a cool method. It's a cool strategy to do. So I'm going to play the entire form with dominant 7ths. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was the 12th measure right there. Woo, that is a lot of fun. If you can get that pattern down, even if it's just the simple 1, 3, 5. And a great thing you could do to start, if you're just not able to play all of that together, is just do this. Just hit the chord down and go. 3rd measure, 4th measure, 5th measure. Here's G and C. That would be an easy way to get the chords down, to do it in an easy way where you're not having to walk all this, okay? But if you're already there, if you already understand blues, you already know the 12-bar blues, well, let's take it a step further. And to take it a step further would be, remember that slide we did earlier? Right there. So what I want you to do is this. Hit the C and this black note at the same time and slide there. Go. Now hit that, then this G, then this A, and then this B flat. So that it sounds like this. You can see what's happening here. If you can learn to take the very basic chord and slide the 3rd, the 1, 2, 3, the 3rd, up to there, and do the same thing on each chord. Go up to F, go up to G. Now, I'm assuming you can already do the left hand and right hand back and forth. If you can't, and you still like this thing, well then just hit, you could just hit one bass note. Just go, just to get the feel of it, just to hit that C. And then later on, so these notes are the notes that can build into so many other things, okay? So try to do that over the whole form. Now I'm going pretty quick at it, but you can slow it down. You can do those basic patterns and make it simple. Take the left hand out if you want. Just do this. You could hit these every time. What if instead of this walking bass down here, what if you did something a little different like this? What if you went, I am just hitting a C and a G and a C and an A. Watch this, I'm going. And every time I hit the A, I'm accenting it. And then I do this. Watch my fingers. There's a C chord. Now this is an F chord. It just doesn't look like it. Watch this. Do you remember this F chord right here? There's our F, F, A, C. If I take this C out and I put it down here, it's still an F chord. It's called a second inversion. So what if I just played F that way? That makes going between C and F easier. I'm just switching between those fingers and those fingers. Now watch me match it with this. Oh man, that is really cool stuff. Now you're going to need to get your fingers in that shape and really hammer them. Right? Now, whoo! I just moved up an octave. Woo, this stuff is great. What if you took a C and a G up here and just went... Oh man, Boogie Woogie is so fun. In Sharps and Flats with Kingsley, go to sharpsandflatswithkingsley.com/piano. go down to the Boogie Woogie section. I've got lots of videos on Boogie Woogie. Okay, so yeah. So now what if we added that slide to this? So in general, slowly we were going. But what if I add a slide in there? Sorry. So when I hit this chord, I also slide that. I go. Woo! Now it sounds really complex and a lot of stuff if you haven't played that before. But remember, if you break it down into chunks, just this. Just break it into chunks and then add this slide. Now, and just do it on every chord. Now that one might be tricky. So you go from F, and then when you go up to a B flat, you just have to memorize that, like that. For the G, you'll do this. Okay, so now, what if you did that the whole time and you added the slide? It would sound like this. Oh, check this out. Yeah. Remember this? Check it out. Woo! And adding one little trick at a time creates what you just heard. Each one of those little things, I learned one thing at a time. Here's another trick to go like this. When you add it, now just do it on an F chord. Now, all of those kinds of tricks and fun things I teach in Sharps and Flats with Kingsley in my Boogie Woogie section under SharpsAndFlatsWithKingsley.com/piano. There's beginner lessons. There are Boogie Woogie lessons. There's jazz, fun, and pop tricks lessons. And there's lessons on lead sheets when you see like words and chord symbols over them, like you see on the screen here, only, you know, instead of just C and F, you might see an A minor 7, you know, so where you have an A minor like that, and other chords, okay? So like church songs, they have lead sheets all the time, just the lyrics, the words, plus the chords above them. And guitar players as well. They play, a lot of them just play what's called tab. They just see like what looks like a hashtag, but it's really, you know, tablature that looks like the fretboard of their guitar, and it shows them where to put the fingers. Okay, if you're a guitar player, you already know that. Whew, this has been a great lesson. Man, until I see you in the first video with Sharps and Flats with Kingsley, stay sharp, everybody. But okay. I am the owner and producer of Sharps and Flats with Kingsley, where you can get on-demand lessons, hundreds of them, for woodwinds, brass, snare drum, piano, and jazz. At Sharps and Flats with Kingsley /piano, I have beginner piano, I have boogie woogie, lead sheets, jazz, pop, and fun, which includes swing and other styles of music. For example, if you go to the beginner platform, you would just click on lessons 1 through 8. It'll drop down, and then you can just start playing those lessons right along with me. You do it from home, just have your Chromebook or your laptop propped up so you can see, and we play along the whole time. This is the beginner platform. There's also Boogie Woogie, which is what I'm going to show you here in about 20 seconds. So go to SharpsAndFlatsWithKingsley.com, click join now. You can also go to the home page where you can see more about how it works with the woodwinds, brass, and snare drum. If you go down here, there's a free lesson pack for you to do today. You can just click on that, go to the free lessons that are in here. Come down here, there's wood, brass, and woodwinds, there's snare drum, there's the jazz pack, and here's a little example of me playing my sax. All right. Yeah. So I love music, and I can't wait to get music into your hands.